I'll make a video about like veganism and animal rights, which is probably something most people don't want to hear about. It's something I didn't really want to hear about. I would always, I don't know, I get kind of bummed. I'm like scrolling through things, I'm having fun, I'm watching cute animals on the internet, and then they put all these cute animals on the internet, like Peter from PETA puts all these cute animals on the internet, and they're like getting tortured and stuff. I was trying to watch the other cute animals. They're rolling in the grass, and now these other cute animals, they're getting kicked around, these piglets and calves and things, and then when they grow up, they stick bolts through their head, and they put them up, and they skin them, and then I eat them, and I was like, that didn't make me feel so good. So I understand people don't really want to hear this stuff, and I'm sorry that I'm putting more of it out there, but it's kind of got to happen because content is king. And So I've been vegan for 5 years just so I could have some more content. Not 5 years, 5 months. For like 5 years before that, I pretty much cut down like the meat that I was eating to like, not just the meat, but like the animal products. I'd say I cut it like 80% down in terms of I like wouldn't buy meat anymore for the refrigerator, and I went to almond milk, and I eat a lot less. I'd still eat a lot of cheese. Also, when I like went out and I was just hungry, I would just eat meat. Like it was whatever. But my rationale was like, okay, I can't totally stop eating it because it tastes so good, and but it's like I know I should because, like I said, Peter from PETA was putting all these videos on the internet, and I've seen it, and it's like I know rationally that there's, I forget how many, I think billions of animals each year are kind of getting tortured because of this, and I know that's really bad, but I also know, but this is what I want to do, and so it's, what that creates is like a conflict and like an angry person who eventually it's like, okay, I'll stop eating most of it. And in that way, like your mind is able to rationalize it and still get some of what it wants by eating cheese and eating meat when you want to, and then not thinking about it. So it's like, okay, my rational side has been somewhat quelled by saying, okay, 80% is 80% of the problem, which it is. Like if the whole world, everybody started eating 80% less animal products, I would get rid of 80% of the suffering. Unfortunately, that would still leave hundreds of millions of little piglets getting kicked around and things like that. And I think that that's kind of like the dynamic for most people, in terms of even people that like eat meat all the time, in terms of you can show them, like they're sympathetic to animals, and if you show them a picture of a dog in a hot car, they're like, oh god, that's terrible, like we should murder the person that put that dog in that warm car, look how hard he's panting, I love animals and dogs, and like look at this person, like I don't know, you just see those videos like, oh look, this person helped this duckling, like I really care about ducklings, and like this one's petting this duckling, and I'm just so caring of duckling as we eat drumsticks of chickens. And granted, ducklings are cuter than chicken, but it's like I don't think that that's really what it is at all. I think what it is like we have this certain part of our brain that's like actually cares about not torturing things and just the obvious reasons why you might not want that to happen, and then you have this other part of your brain that like just doesn't like to think about it, and this is what we've been, it's just right there, this is what we've done our whole lives, and then from that, and then like eventually you realize, oh gosh, this is in conflict. And so what we do is, as much as possible, try not to think about it. But then if you like can't stop thinking about it because like it's just front and center, then what you'll do is rationalize around it. Okay, but everybody does it. Okay, but the problem is the corporations that are doing it. That's something you hear from leftists all the time, as if like the corporations are making us eat it. I mean, they kind of are with like propaganda, and that's like its own problem. But it's like, at the end of the day, the corporations are only making money because the people are buying the stuff, and you're the people buying the stuff, and you're blaming the corporations, and the corporations don't care at all. So if the people keep buying the stuff, there are always going to be corporations that are doing the stuff. So this is hard, bitter pills to swallow that for many leftists, so they don't think about it. Instead, what they swallow is more and more meat and poultry and dairy products as they point their fingers at other people saying that it's their fault. But it's like, as I describe that, I think people understand, yes, it's, eating meat is a bad thing for individuals, not just systemically. But it's like you can't get yourself to change if the dynamic is, but I really want to. And so I'll just share my story, which is like I said, I'd cut down like 80% for like years, maybe 90% even, but would never go all the way. And what it did it for me is like I don't know, there was a lot. It was kind of a long process, but the last thing that happened was like I was kind of out in the middle of nowhere in nature, somewhere in Canada, and there was this guy, Jeff from Detroit, who was up there. I was just like sitting by a lake playing guitar. There's all these hunters coming by because it was like hunting season. So one came by and I started talking to him for a while, and he invited me to go hunting with him, to go pheasant hunting. And I'm like, okay, let's go hunting. I've never gone hunting before. I'm going to go hunting. I'm still eat meat. In fact, I ate meat like a week or so before at some point for something because I was hungry, and it's like oh, whatever, I'm just going to do it. So if I can do that, then I can see what it's like up person, and I'm kind of a violent, aggressive male at heart anyways, so maybe I'll like it, I don't know. So I did it, and I kind of shot a pheasant at point blank, just like a little pheasant, and I don't know, and then I gutted it, cleaned it, cooked it, and ate it, and it was actually very good. But I was like, ooh, I don't like this. I do not like the way that you have to gut a pheasant by standing on its wings and pulling its feet until its head and guts fly out, and then you cut it up and it's blood and stuff, and you have to cut around the pellet. I won't describe it too much, but like if you can't handle me describing this little thing right here, wait till you hear how your food is made. I could show you little videos and clips of it. I won't do it. I know you've already seen them. But yeah, right now I'd say it's essentially like pretty easy for me, and I don't really think about it anymore. And what it is like there's just been kind of like a fundamental shift, and it's not like but I really want to. It's like I don't really want to anymore because the way I look at it has actually shifted. Rationally, I don't understand any more about animal suffering than before, but it's just like there's just like, I don't know, it's just a shift. And I don't know, there's lots of philosophy about change has to come from within, or knowledge comes from within, or it's the same with most bad habits. It's like, I don't think the way that you get someone to quit smoking isn't to show them more and more pictures of black lungs and the tar it's like most people doing the things that they know they shouldn't be doing. You're misunderstanding the dynamic if you think that it's more information that they need. It's like the information will make them feel guilty, and maybe that will get them to reduce it or stop for a time. But even if they do stop under those circumstances, they're deeply conflicted, and that would have been the case, or was the case, leading up to that. But it's like there's another type of change, which is just fundamentally like kind of like incorporating that, and I think that comes from kind of like introspection and deeper dives, and maybe like trying to understand yourself. And that's kind of what I was doing up to that point. Meditation and I don't know, just being aware of, it's like you think that you're in control of your ship, but you don't even realize what all the different levers are. And like, it's like just being aware of when an impulse arrives, where it comes from. I don't know, just being aware of yourself. And then from that eventually comes a deeper type of change if you're able to be introspective that doesn't require the constant fighting within two different parts of yourself that you don't really understand. As I see my face has become shaded. But I don't know, I just thought I'd make a video about that. And I'd say it's something that other people should probably do too, because it's, if you really think about it, it's like very, very bad. Very, very bad. What's happening to animals is also terrible for the environment. And, but yeah, I think the way to get to realize that isn't to like do any more logic and rationalizing type stuff, because like that was what I did for a long time, and it didn't ever, I mean, it kind of worked a little bit, but really just makes you kind of angry. But it's like, just to see things for what they are, to have like I don't know, I can't articulate this stuff, to kind of have compassion for things, and to not fight it, and then just to kind of live that. I don't know, that probably didn't make any sense, but at least stop eating animals maybe.